I want to just begin. This is April, and for those that are not aware, April is Victims' Rights Awareness Month. And there's an important issue that is now on the forefront with respect to victims' rights and public safety, and that is that this last week on Monday, the Chief Justice of the California Supreme Court issued an order to reduce jail populations really designed to prevent the outbreak of the coronavirus in our county jails across the state. This order applies to all 58 counties, including San Luis Obispo County, and it takes effect today at 5 p.m. Essentially, that order has cut cash bail for most misdemeanors and many felonies that are not technically defined as violent to zero. That means that inmates who are currently in custody on those offenses will be eligible to be released without posting a bond. That means that here in our community, people that have abused children, people that have abused the elderly, or those who are in custody currently facing charges of trafficking heroin and methamphetamine around our schools are eligible for release.
Good afternoon. This news that the DA just shared is troubling to us, and I strongly disagree with this decision. However, I have an obligation to follow this decision along with the other sheriffs in California. The California State Sheriff's Association, which represents the 58 sheriffs in California, is also opposed to it and has published a press release opposing this measure. We continue to work with our local law enforcement partners in order to try to ensure that safety is still utmost of our concern and direction on the street, and we're going to continue to deploy resources accordingly.
So what it means for us in San Luis Obispo County in terms of numbers, there's approximately 30 individuals based on our review that may be eligible for immediate release on zero bail. So my office has been working very closely with the Sheriff's Office to identify those particular cases, and my staff has been working very hard over the last few days to file written motions in court to oppose the release on zero bail for those cases. In fact, the court started hearing motions today at 1:30 where we are asking that these folks not be released. More motions will be heard tomorrow morning at 8:30 and again tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. But essentially the people that we described earlier are very possibly going to be released back into our community. But our offices are working very closely with all the law enforcement agencies to ensure maximum public safety.
As you may recall, this comes on the heels of a release from the California state prisons in California of about 3,500 inmates. I'm not sure that number is going to stick to 3,500, and it might increase. So added to what we have in our community right now is a lot of concern. Now we're releasing inmates early and who would ordinarily get out on bail, and this is occurring throughout the state. We've been working very diligently since this happened because we have a couple issues and a couple concerns with the inmates that we have in custody that we will be releasing, some with health and mental health issues. So our team of health experts have been working in order to prepare to release them back out into the community when they've been receiving treatment in the facility, and ensure that they will have the ability to receive treatment when they get out of custody, along with their medication and or treatment they've been receiving. Now on the good side, or the bright side, in response to the COVID shelter-in-place order, you may recall that San Luis County, with its leadership, made the bold decision to step out in front of this prior to the state. We have had the ability to create a plan. So we created a plan, and I can say at the Sheriff's Office, we were able to increase our patrol force out there. I recognize the concerns that the public would have, the fear that they might have. So it was important that we deployed additional black and whites rather than the standard number of black and whites that are out on the street to be seen, to discourage criminal behavior, and to really make the public feel, at the end of the day, safe. What does that mean? We've essentially increased our patrol deputies about 75% on the street. We've done this by really removing deputies from specialized investigative units and put them in marked patrol cars out on the street. This obviously is not sustainable. However, we are committed to doing it as long as it is necessary to provide safety out on the streets. Currently, San Luis Obispo County Jail has no cases of COVID-19 in the jail. And that's really important. It's our responsibility to try to protect the inmate and try to ensure that we do not have this enter the jail, and if we do, we're prepared for it. In response to that, what we have done is we have created operations that amount to about a 21-page document covering the health and safety of the inmates coming in, really with a philosophy of test and protect. And what I mean by that is that all people that enter the jail, including employees, including inmates, including officers, are all questioned regarding any symptoms. Their temperature is taken on a daily basis to ensure that they're not bringing it into the jail. In addition, we have set up a quarantine system for all inmates coming in to go to a particular housing unit where they can be monitored for a period of about 14 days to ensure that they're not transmitting that to the other inmates that are already in custody. This plan has become quite extensive, but we feel that it's been imperative in order to ensure the safety of the inmates and our employees.
Thank you, Sheriff. I just want to close with a reminder that April is Victims' Rights Awareness Month. The California Constitution guarantees certain rights to every victim of crime. One of those is to be heard by the court anytime they have a concern about a case. One of those is specifically to be heard about their safety with respect to bail. Our California Constitution says that when bail is to be set, each victim, that the most primary consideration that the judge must rely upon is the safety of the victim and the safety of the community. So we have asked the judges to do that today and tomorrow when hearing our opposition to zero bail, and it's our belief that the judges will do their part and do their best job to make that evaluation. The District Attorney's Office remains committed to working with our partners like the Sheriff's Office and every local law enforcement agency to continue to fulfill our important public safety mission, and that is to provide service, security, and safety to the community in a manner that is protective of victims' rights as well as the rights of those who have been accused.